Why is it Coca-Cola is training its employees to be less white? Why do we have housing prices and the stock market going through the roof when we all know one of the biggest economic crashes in history has just happened? It's called shutting down the entire economy. Why are corporations so eager to impose vaccine mandates when it will only cripple things even more? Why have investment firms like BlackRock been able to add trillions of dollars to their portfolios since COVID? Why was Home Depot allowed to stay open, but your local True Value was not? Why are people allowed to fly on airplanes packed with people, but banned from eating indoors at mom and pop restaurants? Why are the rich getting so much richer while regular people continue to struggle and it's getting worse? Why is anyone that questions these things treated as crazy, stupid, or a criminal? Because they're all part of something called the Great Reset. No matter what you might hear, it is not a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy, and it is a fact. It is well documented, and it is a proposal to solidify economic and social decision-making in the hands of elites in corporations, the banks, the central governments, education, government, and other groups affiliated with the Davos crowd and the World Economic Forum. They're using the money printing power of national banks, those who support the Great Reset, including Joe Biden, John Kerry, and the head of Bank of America, the president of Microsoft, the leaders in U.S. government and business, are building a system that is able to direct economic and social activity without passing any laws. And they do this by using something called an ESG score. You can understand all of this in the new book, The Great Reset. It is out today. Get it at glensnewbook.com. It is absolutely imperative that you understand what's going on. It's imperative. It answers all of the questions. You won't have a problem understanding the news if you understand this. Let me give you an example. Let me go to what has just been released. It's going to the Secretary of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services from members of Congress. We wanted to request a transcribed interview of Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Excerpts of emails we are making public today, see the appendix, blah, 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 reveal that Dr. Fauci was warned of two things. One, the potential that COVID-19 leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And two, the possibility that the virus was intentionally genetically manipulated. It is imperative we investigate this information that was conveyed to the rest of the government and whether this information would have changed our response to the pandemic. Despite Fauci claiming otherwise on multiple occasions, he was in fact aware of the monetary relationship between the NIAID and the National Institute of Health, Eco Alliance, and the WIV, that's the Wuhan lab. Dr. Fauci knew that NIAID had worked with EcoHealth to create a grant policy to sidestep the gain-of-function moratorium at the time. It goes into all of the things, and it's all footnoted on what he knew at the time. And then it comes to some really kind of important questions about, how does this affect any of us? Did we make decisions and keep information from decision makers? Could this have helped us get past this faster? What is this all about? Would this warning have changed the early response? Was Dr. Fauci or Collins aware of the State Department's warnings about the Wuhan lab? Would having this knowledge earlier benefited either the vaccine or treatment development? Did they favor the edits in Nature magazine paper called The Proximal Origin of COVID-19? What new evidence came to light about COVID-19 between February 1st and February 4th to alter the belief it originated in a lab? Look, we showed you this on our special, and we showed you all of the documents that led you here. They now have the documents to prove that what we showed you actually happened. And that is a great step forward. The problem is that I hate the deep state, because all it is a bureaucracy that thinks it knows better than you. They don't care about elections. They have a plan. They're moving forward. And the elections are just a blip on the screen. That's why Donald Trump had to be destroyed, because he wouldn't go along with these plans. He wasn't part of that. And he loves America too much to just flush her down the toilet and say, yeah, we'll just be one of the pack in this global alliance. Fauci did this because Fauci believes in gain of function. What you may not know is gain of function research, which is let's go into the jungles, get every nasty disease that is out there, stuff that has not jumped over into the human race, and let's see if we can get it to jump over into the human race so then we can have a vaccine for it. Me personally, I think that's the way every really bad pandemic movie has ever begun. I mean, when you have to ask people, have you ever seen a movie? That's a problem. But he believes that he is right, and the discussion is over. That's why they are stifling all questions. That's why they need you to feel like you can't do your own homework. It is the most un-American and, quite honestly, anti-human thing I've ever heard. You must ask questions. You must ask reasonable questions. And when you get the answer, if you don't like it, you can't just dismiss it if it is the truth and the real answer. Sometimes those answers are not going to go your way. Oh, well, be a warrior for the truth. This is not, you notice nobody goes to jail for these things. Have you noticed that? Fauci will not go to jail, at least under this administration. He will not go to jail. He will not be held accountable for any of his lies. He should go to jail for lying to Congress. But he most likely won't. The Democrats won't prosecute him on that. I'm not sure that the Republicans will, because I'm not sure how many people are really involved and how you can threaten all of these people in Washington. There are a few people in Washington that I think are crystal clean, but there's also a lot of them that are clean, but also terrified of losing their job or losing their status, or being discredited in some way or another. Look, you're going to be discredited at some point if you stand up at all. And there's going to be a point where everyone is going to want to stand up, because it doesn't stop with the regulars. It'll go all the way down to people who are hungry. And everyone is going to be in this boat. The entire thing about the Great Reset that you need to understand is that you are no longer part of the decision making. And it is really, truly upsetting to me. We have the biggest problems we have ever faced. And much of it is not by design. Much of it is because we're entering the fourth industrial revolution. We are now headed towards AI. AI is going to change everything. I mean, it's going to change your education. It will change your job, and it will change your job probably in the next 4 years, definitely in the next 8. And by 2030, you may be so worn out from job training for something else that you just give up. This is where the complete live system comes in. This is where all of this stuff ties in and all makes sense. It all makes sense if you understand what the elites understand. But they've just decided that they're smart enough to figure this all out, and they'll make a path for those who are going to be uber wealthy. We are talking about oligarchs on the world, on the face of the planet, like never before. Kings with wealth like never, ever before. And technology to boot. And you won't own anything. You won't have a voice. They'll say your voice is at the election box. But how's that election box working for you right now? Is it working for you? Do you feel like, we're on top of it? The only reason why all of this can happen is because the press. They are truly an enemy of freedom. They have decided that they're in with the elites. They've decided that they will cover the tracks. They will decided that they will do all the footwork. And I think it's not just because they're bad. They're bad at what they do, yes, but not because they're all evil schemers. I think some of them are. I think some of them just drank the Kool-Aid and believe in it. And I think there's a lot of them that just have absolutely zero intellectual curiosity or integrity. Zero. And so they're just going to go do their job, and they're going to do it so they can keep their job, and they just move on every day. You cannot be one of these people. Get the new book, glensnewbook.com, glensnewbook.com. Order it right now. The second printing, if it goes into second printing, we published a buttload of first printings because second printing could be 5 months away because of the supply issues. So please get your copy now. You might even want to get a couple of copies just for your friends. But this information is the most important and critical information I have ever shared with you. If you've ever thought that I had something important to say, this dwarfs all of it. This is the end game of man's freedom. And there's 50 pages of footnotes, so you don't have to take my word on it. Order glensnewbook.com, glensnewbook.com. The name of the book is The Great Reset, Joe Biden and the Rise of 21st Century Fascism.